Thanks for staying with us. We'd just like to assure our viewers that we're going to continue to keep tabs with what's going on at Ikoyi. We'll probably bring in some more experts to explain to us the medical condition of people probably still under the rubble, what could have happened to them, and if there are any chances of survival at this time. So we'll be bringing in some professionals later on to give us some more information, maybe from next week or so. But we'll have to move on now to our topic, our Thursday topic of the day, which is about naming. So parents generally often agonize over what to call their children in some cultures like ours. Names can determine how successful you feel and how the child will be. So the question is, do our names say more about who we are? Does it matter what you name your child or thing? And I think this also concerns how you name your businesses. Someone say, God is good motors.
There's actually God is good motors.
Hallelujah, hallelujah towers.
Hallelujah ventures.
Hallelujah ventures. Or he is coming, those kind of things. So are these determinants to how successful our businesses are or how children are? Because they name a child, there's another one I got.
So you're about to say, Kola Wale, like bring wealth home.
Yeah.
You know, with the expectation that the child
how important are names? So that's really our focus today, because as we evolve and we grow and we think to ourselves, and there are other factors determining success, we're thinking, okay, these things called names, do they still stand? Do they still determine how far we go? Please call us. You can call us on 08127053687, 09139076948. You can also send us messages on YouTube and Facebook. We'll be happy to read your messages. So, Dr. would like to go first.
There are poor Kolawales. You know, there are people that their name is meant to bring wealth, but they are actually poor. Everything derives meaning based on the meaning and the power you give it. So if you give, in actual fact, names are very, very important. As a Christian, you know that most of the Bible x-rays how people are named based on what they are going to achieve. You know, Emmanuel is like God is with us. You know, so you have that He's come to save us. You have names that carry your life agenda. So you are supposed to live out that name. Hence, it is important to have good names. But we've also realized that sometimes we attach too much importance to what isn't really important. It's the importance you attach to it that it carries. That's my own submission. So, but I feel for my children, I looked at characters in the Bible to name them, that I liked the way their story panned out. And I wanted them to have a sense of, oh, you should be braver than that. You're David. Do you know who David is in the Bible? You know, so like, and then I sort of like use that to make them feel they carry an aura, like you carry a name that you should live up to. You carry a name that should, and if you don't, even if you name somebody Kolawole, but you don't make the person feel like you are meant to bring wealth. So it is that meaning you reinforce with the name that I feel gives it life. So I've met someone, Grace, and her story was literally grass to grace. And she said all her life, if she experienced anything downturn, she would just say, but my name is Grace. This cannot be the end of my story. So she reinforces what she believes her name carries, and that gives it more life.
I've seen the people they call beauty. that are not beautiful. I've seen the people that they call blessing, that we don't see any blessing. For me, I think our parents most times named us based on their life's experiences. So back in the traditional days, any incident that surrounds your birth is what they will call you. So maybe the rain fell that day heavily, the mother was not able to go to the labor room, and they will now name you something that reminds them of what they went through for you. So that's on one point. I also know that there are people who, they've seen vision for them that this child you're carrying is great, and this name is from the divine. So they give you a name before that child comes. There are different aspects of this naming thing. But for me as a person, I've just realized that we are much more than our names. Because I've seen people who grew to a point and they realize this name is no longer serving me, and I'm going to drop it. This is the new name I want to take on. Our identity is not really tied to our name. But like she said, the meaning you give to it. So my father, they gave me Obiajulu for a reason, because my father is quite hot-headed. And they were expecting that he gave birth to a girl, he should calm down. He did not calm down. He has not calmed down.
What does Obiajulu mean?
Obiajulu is heart of peace. Oh. He still hasn't calmed down right now.
And you said you don't...
I'm a peaceful person.
But do you think that we may be interpreting it wrong? The peace that you may have brought him peace. The hot-headedness, maybe that's just his, but have you brought him peace? Have you brought him peace in his home?
I brought him joy, I know, but the reason for that name was they expected him to calm down.
As you don't born girl.
Let your heart calm down. Calm down in the things you do, how you handle issues and everything. They expected that, they didn't see that. We still haven't seen that, but of course, I'm a child of joy. I brought him peace. Yeah. So for me also, I got more attached to the Olabisi than the Obiajulu because I just felt there was something I just knew growing up that I'm made for wealth, really. So that name just sinks. And that name has opened doors for me in a lot of places.
Like money.
and all that. So, but I think we always label things based on our own understanding. So if you understand, if you think that there is power in a name, it's very important that you pay attention to the sort of name you give to your children. But for people who don't think it's important, it's also okay. It doesn't stop anything.
Heineken.
It doesn't, exactly. Mr. Oyibo people, Mr. Stone, Mr. White, Mr. This. And they go on and achieve great things. So it's the meaning you give to it that
nice.
makes it happen.
Right. Is there anything else to add to this? Because they've already said
I just think that for Africans, we have a culture of naming our children, giving our children names that we believe would sort of shape their future and shape their destiny. And I think it's a good culture to have, When I was going to have my children, long before I had my children, I used to always say, I want my children to have traditional Nigerian or African names. I know I didn't want to have the Christian names, the Bible, the names from the Bible. I just wanted them to have that name. And when my son was about to be born, a lot of names were, thrown around. I remember there was this name, that would have been his name, Eragbai. I don't know what it means, but it sounded so very bye. I was like, I don't know what it means. I don't want in school, like, bye, call him. So we call him Enaifoge. Enaifoge is what I say, but, his uncles and granduncles say it's not Enaifoge. The GH in Edo is Enaifoge. And it sounds so sweet to me. But then, he has cousins abroad, and he's like, Aunt Miriam, why did you name him Foggy? Everyone's going to be laughing at him, but for him, what I've done is I have told him the meaning of his name. The source of this blessing, as I was told, the source of this blessing shall never end. And he feels so proud of his name. And it's also his father's name. So he's okay, that means, it gives him a sense of importance. But I also understand that for all of us, we didn't give ourselves our names. Our parents gave us their names, and there were different levels in their lives when they did. And so I think it would be unfair that we would say that person's name would determine where you go, no matter your own personal growth and development, So it's important. Names, traditional names that that tell our stories is important. That's how I think Oyimbos, they have some names. There's this man I used to come to where I used to work. His name was Mr. Slap Bottom.
That's definitely
they have horrible names.
I was like, okay.
This is not a good name.
I think he worked in one of these oil companies, and I'm like, he's doing very well. But every time he came, all of my other colleagues were like, Mr. Slap Bottom is here. Like, how do you have that name?
Let's go to a quick break. When we come back, we'll get your thoughts on this. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still talking about names. And I know BC earlier said that people would name their children based on their own experiences. And I mean, my mother gave birth to me 12 years after her first child. She had all boys. And I was born on her birthday. So I should actually be called Gift. But she gave me Muriel because I guess it was for her, it was joy.
The only girl.
I was the only girl, so it was joy. So, but you see, that was her experience. How does that affect me?
Yeah, but you're joy.
And so, I guess I bring joy. But I think the real crux of our conversation is people who name businesses certain names because they feel that that's what's going to make the business successful. Or a father names a child Perpetual. I don't even know why. Or you name a child Government. I mean, these are names that we see.
The government of the people.
No. And you're trying to understand, okay,
What were you thinking? No, I know someone that named the child Stout.
Stout. So these are the things. So why do we give children these kinds of names? You know, or companies, this kind of. I mean, God is good. Is successful.
Yeah, it is.
Like I know that is a good company.
But I don't think it's because God is good that made it successful. They are doing what is needed to do. They are following. They have excellence. When you go there, you think you're like in an airport. No. I just use that example. Yeah. So you can have a very fantastic God-given name and you're not living up to expectations. You're not doing the right things you need to. You won't be successful. And you'll be complaining that I have this name and yet I've not seen this, result, So I had this sort of conversation with my daughter recently. I think that was the day before yesterday. She was asking me, Mommy, why didn't you give us English names? I was like, why do you need English? She said, I don't know. My friends are married. This one is Cynthia. This one is... And I don't have English. I just have Kosisochukuchukwoma, Boluwatife, Ugbo. I said, they are beautiful names. And moreover, you're not an English person. I don't have an English name. I am Obiajulu or Labisi Ugbo. And it's okay. They say, but people will now find it difficult to pronounce it. I say they should learn how to pronounce it. When we come here, we pronounce Schwarzenegger. We learn how to pronounce it.
Let me take this call. Good morning. How are you there? Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Okay, for me, I just wanted to share something, and it's from a point of revelation. Naming my children, I had to start learning how to ask God about the child while I was pregnant. If you even read in the Bible.
Mama, are you there? I really wanted to hear that.
Karen. So I realized that that's a good time to ask God because it's a spiritual process, experiencing creation and all of that. So I asked God, what's this child coming to do? What's the purpose of this child? So that's where I get my inspiration from. And over time, God begins to speak to me and tell me, oh, this child is this. This is what this child is about. And those are the things that inspire, my naming
your children
for my kids.
Fantastic.
So that's it. I don't just take names because it looks or sounds beautiful. I just want to know that my child is not going to come into the world now wanting to discover purpose. So as the child even begins to grow, I begin to let the child know that this is what God told me about you. Right. This is what God said you are in the world to do.
Thank you very much, Ulama. That's another good perspective. Yeah. So for me now, like I can't stand English names. Like, for me, I just feel like it's totally wrong. Left to me, if I had to choose my own children, I would never have given them English names. But my husband had a thing for Queen Elizabeth. Like Queen Elizabeth was like his star. He loves Queen Elizabeth. So when his first child came, it had to be Elizabeth, and he tells her, don't make it. You don't hear Queen Lizzie or Queen Liz. It's always Elizabeth. Tell everybody your name is Elizabeth. Don't shorten it, number one. Number two, when the twins now came, we're expecting 2 boys. His father's name is Michael. So he wanted to we had planned Michael and Gabriel because his best friend is Gabriel. So that was it, Michael and Gabriel, just the twins. We just expected boys. When the one boy came, one girl came. Like, was that day? I was like, okay, so what are we going to name? He called his mom. I think Michelle Obama just gave a speech. So that just happened around the same time. So we kept Gabriel for this last one that came. So, I mean, I'm not a big English name person, but because I really like local cultural names. I think they have meanings. I like today's names. Jesu tofu mi, it's like a full sentence.
Yeah.
I
like Asieni's grandson's name, Temidire, Arire. It's just so nice.
It's just very, very long.
But those are like Yoruba names anyway.
And it sounds so pretty in our local language. But if you were to say it in English, God is good, safe journey, these are names that when you say them in our local language, they sound so beautiful.
Yeah. Let's just say a few funny names that I saw. Like somebody's name is Opener. Like the person's name is Opener. In his birth certificate, Opener. Yes. Somebody's name is Coincidence.
You've not seen Jehovah.
There's somebody's name that is Road. Inside birth certificates, they named the person Road. Mr. Road.
Road what you mean? I have seen Jehovah.
Good morning, Yakub. Are you there? You're live. Go ahead, please.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, very clearly. Go ahead, Yakub.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think name is very, very important in our life. For example, somebody like me, I choose to call myself Ya Salam. Nobody really know my real name in my area here. They always call me Ya Salam. Ya Salam means that God of God, meaning that Ya Salam means that God that is you can never fall sick. Do you get it? Ya Salam means peace. Do you get it? So, and then there's one name I admire so much in that studio, even though it's not this program. When I follow Journalist Hangout, you know, Babajide Otitoloju, that very particular name,
yeah,
you know, I end up to name one of my child that very particular name, Otitoloju, because the reason being that I follow Babajide every time, and then I found out that he always says the truth, whether you like it or not. He always talks
so you know, join it, Otitoloju.
Then that is why I end up name one of my child, Otitoloju. And then I keep on telling him, this Otitoloju of a thing, you have to work for it. Good morning and God bless you.
You know what he said? Okay, go ahead. Okay, you know how they say something like, yeah, Joseph, and you're not behaving like a Joseph. See people come, you're a David, and you are behaving like you're really a David. But you know, I think names are very important. Like in my book, I was very particular about using Middle Belter names. So many books that come out of Nigeria, you would see names like the regular Hausa name or the regular Igbo name or the Yoruba names, but you don't really hear a lot about the Middle Belter names. And I remember asking a friend of mine if I could use one of his daughter's name, and he was like, children, would they care? I said, they may not care if they don't see it, but they would feel, they would love it when they see names that they can relate to. There's names that they can relate to. And so things like that, I think that's where we can say name is important. And with the name, you can also tell a story. And people are asking, what name is this? Where is this name from? What does it mean? You know, and then you have a story and open up a whole new culture to people.
Yeah. I think the name should point to where you're coming from. Points to your locality, your identity, your culture.
Start an international conversation.
Yeah, you should point to that. So I remember my first job as a classroom teacher, and then we had this international, the school was basically run by white people, and they all would call me Olabese. Did I get it right? Olabese. Oh, no, let's stick to Olabese. It was easier for them, you know. And me, personally, I didn't have to pray for names to come for my children. I had the names ready when I was doing NYSC. 4 names. Kosi. So, in fact, initially I wanted Kamsi, but then as a classroom teacher, the Kamsis I saw were not well behaved at all. So I changed it from Kamsi to Kosi. So I had Kosi, I had Kamdi, I had Kaima, and I had Kene. Kene hasn't come yet.
So we're expecting Kene.
They were expecting Kene.
When we come back to talk more about Kenneth, stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still talking about names today. And I mean, it's so interesting. I'd like to take some phone calls. Please call us on 081-270-53687 and 091-390-76948. We'd like to hear your thoughts on this. Yes, so we're going to say something.
So, you know, so I'm one of those, before I got married, my parents, I think I'm an only child. My parents had twins before me and they lost it. So I knew that I had I was supposed to have twins, elder brothers, but never happened. So I'd always prayed that I wanted to have twin boys. Wow. And so the name I'd already had the name
before you got married.
Before I got married. So when I got pregnant, and my first pregnancy, I went to do test, and they were like, is one that is just one? I said, no, check very well, there should be 2.
Really?
You know, and then they checked very well. They said, even there's no heartbeat. I say, it's not just one. There's even no heartbeat. No, this is not my own. So when I had to do evacuation because they said it was a missed abortion or something, then I got pregnant again, and they checked, and they're like, 1 or is it 2? They say it's 2. I say, hey, this is what we're waiting. This is what we're waiting for. So the name was already on ground. I prayed about it. My husband and I already agreed. And so immediately we had the children.
So
it was just
children and your brother.
Automatically, you know. So it was just really answered prayers. And for some people like that, when people are waiting on the Lord, I've heard them. Those that have been waiting 10 years or waited 5 years, all through that period of waiting, they sort of gotten to a place where there's a conviction of this. When my child is born, this is the name my child will be born, will be given. You know. So it sort of happens like that.
Japheth, good morning, Japheth. Good morning, Japheth.
Yes, hello, good morning.
Good morning, you're live. Go ahead, please.
All right, we're talking about the significance of names, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the naming it depends. Yes, can you hear me?
Very clearly. We can hear you on the phone, not the TV.
Yeah. When you talk about naming, the wrong thing we have been doing here as Africans is that we tend to copy so much of the European names. People don't know that you can actually return African names to serve as baptism names. Like Afolabi Murayo can be a baptism name. Now, when you bring in Brown, it gives that English taste of it all, but it's not bad anyway. Now, why names are significant is that if you take a look at the Bible, you discover that people will hardly name their daughters as Jezebel. People are hardly old enough to name their sons as Judas, because Judas and Jezebel have a bad history as far as the Bible is concerned.
Yes.
So when you give names that have useful connotations, names that have a blessing, a touch of blessing, it is most likely that such blessing is going to follow a child. Like in my family, for instance, there are some names I am very strongly against them, and I've asked my father to change my sisters from such names because they are actually in a way affecting them.
Names are powerful, though.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much,
You can baptize
Jafet.
with African names as well.
Mariam, you're going to give us some Middle Belton
so
names.
I have my cousin. I have a cousin. His name is his name is Sokdam, but traditionally they tell you Sawdam. It's not. Yes. Some of his cousins. There's Rinmichit. That's a nice name. I think one of the names from Plateau State that people know and always question, why does it sound Chinese, is Chundung. I have classmates, one Pirit Moa. That's a name I like. One of my very good friends.
Are these native names?
Yes.
These are
her name is Kumat. And then her sister Tarin. So there are just so many beautiful names.
Someone's Pai. Her name is Pai.
Okay.
She's from Plateau State. So.
Okay, I don't know that.
I've met Bacham.
From Taraba.
Is it Bacham or Bachan?
Okay.
Badger, even Badger.
And like there are many beautiful
names that we need to explore.
Yeah, we don't focus on the Bible when the Bible names. No, we always do that a lot. Like it's the easiest
I do their Bible.
When they are really beautiful names from all over the country.
You can't take away people's beliefs from them.
Yes.
We are Christians, so you read the Bible, you see names that inspire you, and you feel, I would like
but
my daughter to be Esther. I would like my,
But I also think it's colonialism. Because, when you baptize, I like how you brought, when you baptize you with your traditional name, you come out with an Oyinbo name. Because Oyinbo is better, Yeah, so there's a change of mindset. I think many of us, especially our generation, were rethinking these things.
So, because the God too is Oyiboni. You want
exactly.
Jesus that sees Oyiboni.
No, that's the God that was
Jesus is
that was presented to us is Oyiboni. The picture you see is Oyiboni.
Let me tell you. Somebody went to go and take that picture. The one that we said is not a picture. It's not a picture. Please, I beg.
Jesus black me.
So let me take this call.
Thank you.
I don't even know what person is. Ife, come on, Ife, are you there?
That's a lovely name too.
Yeah, good morning.
Lovely name, love. You feel love this morning, Ife.
Yes, that name actually is thanks to my uncle, first of all, that made that name possible. If not, by now, everybody will know me as Yetunde, which means Yetunde.
Okay. Yes.
Which was like a birth name that was given to me by my mom. That was because my father's father died before I was born. Actually, 3 things made them name me. 3 circumstances happened for me to be given a name, which me, for instance, I would not want to do that to my kids. First was because my father's mom died before I was born. Second, I was born on a Sunday, which made them to name me Abosedi. And the third is Emitom, because history happened surrounding my birth. So all of that actually, made a whole lot of things concerning my name. But I stuck with Ifeoluwa, and to date I can tell you that the meaning of that name, Ifeoluwa, has gone with me so far to the point that anywhere I go to, I'm always being loved.
Oh, we love you already.
I mean, I like, so Eniton means that there's a story?
Yes, Eniton is, because, some people, because the circumstances of the birth of that child carries a story. Maybe there was violence, or there was rape, or the child, somebody passed or something. So there's a story attached to this one, Eniton, like this is someone's story. Then Yetunde is like, my mom has come back, like a rebirth of someone. So those kind of things, we always feel like there's an attachment. So I'm happy that
let me take Yinka. Yinka, are you there?
What does Yinka mean?
Ola Yinka, Ola Yimika.
Wealth surrounds me.
Yinka, are you there?
My people.
Oh, Yinka, are you there?
Number of Olas.
Okay, I think we're losing that call. He's listening to the TV.
Hello?
Yeah, Yinka, you're live. Go ahead, please. Oh,
we lost that.
But our names, does it affect our country as a whole?
Niger area.
Yes. No, our personal names. Everybody's asking for wealth, asking for wealth.
So they said Goodluck, that there was, they kept saying that when the president, Goodluck was our president, that Goodluck followed him because how he moved from being a lecturer in the university and then he became deputy governor. And then in just a short while, he became governor. And then he was picked to become vice president. And then he became president. So it was like, Goodluck seemed to...
Good luck affect the nation. Affected him as a president.
I think technically we sort of like economically had a good time under Goodluck. Our economy did well. Apart from the Chibok girl story, we had like
we had more girls.
But the Goodluck followed him.
But they stole a lot during that period.
Yes, as we were making the money, they were just
so much money.
So it was luck for them.
It was the Goodluck for
all our money.
Bad luck to you.
Bad luck to us. Let me take. I think I have to go on a quick break. We're going to wrap up soon. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.